Hello and welcome. I'm John Blatchford, and in today's video we're going to be looking at my 5 rules or tips for getting back into the gym after a break. And for me, of course, it's in regards to training after my leg break. And if you're new to the channel and want to follow me on this journey, then subscribe down below and leave a like on this video if you like what you see. There's a link to my previous video in the video card above where I talk through how exactly I broke my leg. I do want to say just before the video starts that these rules are obviously tailored towards me getting back into the gym after breaking my leg. That doesn't mean, however, that they're not transferable and can't be used if, say, you've just had a break from the gym and you're looking to get back into it. So, number 1, and possibly for me the most important rule, is mindset. After a break, you cannot go back into the gym expecting to lift what you previously lifted. For me, obviously, I've been out the gym now for 2 months, leading on to 9 weeks since I've actually properly lifted. And I don't stand a hope in hell's chance getting back into the gym, benching, leg pressing, anything near the numbers that I used to, just because my body has withered away. I do just want to state here, I'm not saying ignore what you previously used to lift, but if you go back in there with the mindset that you are not going to be able to lift what you used to lift, you're instantly in a better position to start going again. Because if you go in there with the mindset that you're going to lift what you're going to lift and you don't lift what you're going to lift, you're instantly going to be disheartened. But going in there with the right mindset and knowing that you are not going to be able to lift what you used to lift instantly sets you up for success, because you might go in there and go, oh hey, I can lift more than I thought I could, or more than I thought I should be able to at this point, which is instantly better and then getting you hooked back into going again. Therefore, for me, getting back into the gym, I'm going to be lifting about 50% of what I used to lift. So that way I get in there, I've got a good gauge of how much I can do. But why should I drop down to half of what I should be doing? And that leads me on to rule 2. Technique and form. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and say that you can't go back into the gym after a break, pick up the heavy weights, and you won't gain muscle, because you will, alright? But if you go back to the gym and work on your form for the first 2 to 3 weeks, not doing high intensity, high volume, just go in, make sure that you're lifting correctly, you have set yourself up to maximize growth later down the line when you start lifting heavier weights. And you've also got to think about, if you're going straight back to the gym, lifting heavy weights again, the amount of fatigue that your body is going to have to endure after not lifting, let's say in my case, not lifting that weight for 8 weeks. You're going to be, as a result, aching for a lot longer. And not necessarily with your muscles will fatigue. And it's also going to put increased stress on your joints, which could easily cause injury. A good example for form I'm especially going to work on when I get back into the gym is my incline bench press. Training partners have often told me that as I come down and push back up into the press, my arms come above 45 degrees, to the point when I'm pushing up, my arms come above and they go over my head, which instantly then goes from being a chest press to putting loads of strain on your shoulders and your shoulder joints, which later on are going to mess me up big time. But by going back into the gym and focusing on low volume and just working on my technique means that down the line that will be easier to combat, because I've gone on the low weights, but I've built up the muscle memory to know that this is exactly how I need to do it. And although in regards to strength, going to the gym, lifting a heavy weight for a low amount of reps is going to give you the most gains, getting back into the gym, it's just going to cause you absolute agony. Now, heading on to rule 3, which I've simply just deemed as nothing mental. This is in regards to anything that can intensify your workout, such as supersets, drop sets, or 21s, for example. Therefore, for me, when I get back into the gym, I'm going to be focusing on some of my compound movements and some isolating movements, including the chest press, the seated row, shoulder or military presses, curls, and of course I'm going to be avoiding the leg press or any leg form of workouts. And it's key to note at this point, if you are returning to training from an injury, ask your doctor first what you should and shouldn't be doing. What I'm giving you here is what my doctor has suggested to me and the advice that they have told me to follow through on a timeline. So for me, I can start working my upper body again. I just lack the tools at home to actually do so. And I can start training legs from the first week of April. So if you're going back to the gym from an injury, please make sure you've sought medical advice first, because obviously I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm just a bloke speaking to a camera. But if you are just returning to the gym from a break, you should be okay. Obviously, I don't know everybody's ins and outs, but you might find that some muscle groups are weaker than others, which point they might need a little bit more to get up to scratch or the level you used to be at or would like to see. You may find, however, that going back to the gym, you fatigue a lot easier just naturally, just from the workouts you're doing, which leads to the second part of this rule, which is your workout duration. For me, I'm going to be going back to the gym and doing 40-minute workouts, if I can last that long, to be fair. But I'm going to gauge how long I can last and how long I can live for, and then I can slowly start working the durations of my workouts up as I start seeing the progress coming back in from working on my form and working on my technique. Rule number 4, patience. Patience is key. You need to slowly bring this process back. A key advantage that I'm going to have going back, and you may have as well, is if you have previously trained and you're taking a break from training to go back into it, you've got muscle memory there to help you build the muscle back. In comparison to somebody that's new starting at the gym, you are going to take less time to rebuild what you've lost. Obviously, again, a variable of that is everyone's different. There could be genetics involved, how well you're dieting. So for example, ideally for me to get back to the spot that I used to be at, I've been off for 8 weeks, nearly 9 weeks. I'd be hoping to see my returns coming back or nearly at the level they were within about 6 weeks of training. Obviously with COVID, that might be a lot longer, because I don't have the facilities at home to put my body under enough endurance to build the levels I used to have. I've based this number off a study by Tafe and Marcus from 1997, where they did a study of elderly men who took a break from training for 12 weeks and then built their previous strength up in around 8 weeks. And finally, rule number 5, you gotta have fun whilst you're doing it. If you're not having fun, reevaluate what you're doing. You might find, obviously again, I've done this list for myself, you might find things transferable, you might find things that actually aren't working for you, and that's fine. Everyone tackles their fitness journey differently. That is just what I want to hone into this. Have fun whilst you're doing it. If you're not enjoying it, something needs to change. You're doing something wrong. So guys, I just want to say thank you. If you've enjoyed this style of fitness content and want to see more, leave me a like down below. If you want to catch out any of my previous content, it will be on the end screen. And thanks for watching. I've been Jordan Blatchford, and these are my tips for how to go about tackling the gym after a break. Cheers guys.